Hey guys, so I'm not used to red lipstick, but I just grabbed some on a whim. It's called Liquid Velvet. So it's weird. Today I was thinking about, I went to the chiropractor and I was putting my mask on. I was like, oh, I didn't brush my teeth and I forgot to put lip gloss on. And I was like, duh, I'm gonna be wearing a mask. I'm not gonna see any of this anyways. But I just thought I would put some on for y'all so it looked pretty. I hate it how it does the pink in the middle. Other than that, I would say then it gets on your teeth. So I'm just gonna warn you now. I think I'm too fat for my chair because it keeps squishing down. Also, I got it for free, so maybe that was why I got it for free. But this is my little work area, which is a mess because I'm trying to get everything done while the toddler's awake or asleep, and I can never get everything put away before he's awake. So, I sell clothes on the side. Let me backtrack. Hi guys, I'm Julie. I've been doing intuitive eating since January 1st, pretty much that week or so, of 2020. And my husband, I was so lucky that he decided to do it with me. I heard a podcast. I'm just going to do a little refresher since I have a bunch of new followers. I've doubled in size. My whole 4 followers went to like 13. That's more than double. Triple. I can't math. The husband and I heard it was on a podcast about meditation. And he was interviewing Evelyn Tremblay, who is the author of Intuitive Eating. And the second I heard it, I knew I wanted to do it. And then my husband, I said, you need to listen to this podcast. He listened to it. And then he was like, we need to do this. Because he's also been fighting, fighting with food basically his whole life. And we both knew after doing keto and paleo that we did not want our child to be afraid of carbs like we were. So the rest is history. My husband is a chef. Well, he was a chef professionally. And I was a yoga teacher before this pandemic. I have not taught. I did one Facebook Live class the first, I don't know, 2 weeks maybe the first week of the pandemic quarantine thing. And I immediately knew I wasn't going to be doing that again, just because it was like, if you go to a group fitness class, the people that are there are people that want to take the class. Whereas on Facebook, anybody could watch it. And it kind of made me just be like, oh, there could be creepers watching that I don't really know. And they're just watching because they want to see me do down dog or something weird like that. This is going to drive me nuts. And I brought it on. So, professional. Okay. I'm just not used to wearing lipstick. I literally don't wear lipstick. I wear lip gloss. Because who has time for lipstick on their teeth and lipstick on everything? And that lip sense? Whatever happened to that? Everyone was so into it when it first came out. That shit made my lips blister. So I can't have it when I try to take it off. So anyways, some of the new updates since the last time. Weird that you can barely see it on video. Well, that's a bruise or whatever, but can y'all see? I'm getting stretch marks. It hurts. My whole arm, the whole arm just aches, and I'm getting and it's weird because it's not on this arm. I guess maybe because I use my right arm more. Dude, there's a lot of muscle in there. But that's a little annoying. Oh god, that's gonna shit on me. The scarf just fell off my thing. Somebody wrapped a present that I bought with this, and it just fell on my foot, and the way it softly fell on my foot was a weird feeling. Okay, yeah, it's a mess in here, and I've been trying to revamp it and reorganize it for months, and it's on my Poshmark inventory. I have over 700 items listed, clothing and shoes and purses and baby clothes and costumes and just all kinds of stuff. I love it. And I'm actually really enjoying that I've been able to do that a lot more right now during this whole quarantine thing. But back to the whole intuitive eating thing. Husband has been terrified for a while, wanting to quit. And I keep telling him, okay, fine. If we quit, that's fine. We'll have to quit doing the podcast, because the whole basis of the podcast that we're doing is called Nom Nom Namaste, NOM if you're interested. I think we might scale down to doing it every other week, because we kind of feel like there's nothing new to report, and it's hard to find time with the baby. He has to be asleep for us to do the podcast, and it's just usually by the time he's asleep, we're both so exhausted, because, you know, we're old. Bedtime's like 8 o'clock lately. But the husband does have to get up at like 3:45, so he has a good reason for me dying. But his body on the weekends thinks it's still the week, and he can't stay awake past 8:30 or so. About 7:30 he starts nodding off, and I always give him a hard time. But okay, so we joined Audible, and I've listened to, what was the first one I did? Anti-Diet by Christy Harrison. Highly recommend. And then right now I'm listening to the Fuck It Diet. Oh my gosh, both of them. Anti-Diet, I had to rewind and keep replaying, and then I really want to listen to it again, but I was like, James is listening to it right now, and he keeps getting so mad he has to pause it and like do other stuff and come back to it. I get it though. It's really infuriating, the history of diet culture. And in the Fuck It Diet, she's talking about, it's kind of funny. The chapter is called, I don't know if it's the first chapter. I don't think I'm in the second chapter yet. It's called Diet Culture. Diets are a cult. And I mean, we joked in the beginning that this felt like, you know, like when people go to church camp and they come back all on fire for God. That we were the same way, and we're all like on fire for intuitive eating. But I still know it's working. And even though I've gained way more weight than I ever thought I would, like I'm the heaviest I've ever been in my entire life, even 9 months pregnant with all 3 of my kids. And that's a little like, whoa, what do I do with that? But at the same time, I just keep buying bigger clothes, and I keep just doing what I'm doing, and I feel amazing. That yes, it's a little frustrating to be bigger and like all of a sudden notice things like the arms of this chair are touching my hips. That doesn't really feel very good. And like when I went to the chiropractor, it was the first time I've been there, and every chair was uncomfortable. And it's like you have to kind of like hold the chair when you get up, because you're afraid that like it might be stuck to your hip. I have big hips, and that's another thing, is I'm not used to how big my hips have gotten. And so like it's weird, but like I'll go to like squeeze through places that I used to be able to squeeze through, and my hips will bump something, and I'm like, I'm not as small as I used to be. It's kind of weird. It is definitely a mind fuck. Sorry, if you're new, I'm sure you've watched some of my previous videos, but I cuss a lot. I was a preacher's kid as a child, and now I'm a rebel atheist. More agnostic, I guess, not atheist. But so yeah, I kind of cuss just because I wasn't allowed to cuss growing up. I can't help it. I went through a phase where I was like, oh, cussing is so makes everyone think you have low self-esteem. And now I'm like, there's just things you have to cuss about. You just do, like, just fuck. But yeah, the Fuck It Diet, dude, when she was talking about it being a cult, she's like, think about like when you are moralizing food, how you're like, oh, I ate better than the person next to me, and then you're like feeling better because you didn't do what the other people are doing, and then that you feel inclusive. Like if, say, Weight Watchers, just for example, what are they calling it now? WW? So stupid. Say like Weight Watchers, how like you're in a community and you all have lunch together and you weigh together and you talk about your wins and your non-scale victories and your whatever, you know, like shit that they do. I did Weight Watchers for 3 years. And you know what's funny? I would cry so many of those meetings because I would be like, wow, I feel great. ate like super healthy all week and I worked out all week, and then I would get on the fucking scale and it would be up. And I would be so upset I couldn't figure out what I did wrong. And I would beat myself up over it. And now just thinking about like, if I had just stopped dieting when I first started freaking out about dieting, like I looked amazing. I felt amazing when I didn't diet. I don't know why I had to make myself feel like I had to fit into this tiny box of losing the baby weight, you know, and like now it's making me a lot more conscious of like culture around me and how like diet culture has shamed or shaped and shames our thinking, and how like we like, okay, for example, if you were a religious person, you grew up in a religion and then you change from that religion, you still have all those religious thoughts. Like, you still like feel guilty if you cuss, or you still feel guilty if you do something premarital sex or whatever your religion talked about not doing. It's the same way with diets. Like, they're so similar. They're so like mindfuck. They're so like controlling your brain. It's insane. Think about like Catholic churches, how you go into confession. Weight Watchers, you go and tell, like, I remember my Weight Watcher lady being like, well, maybe you could cut back on some carbs. Or like one week she goes, so what happened this week? And I was like, I don't know what. She's like, well, you lost 7 pounds. And I was like, holy shit. I was all excited because I ate nothing but fucking salads. Literally 2 or 3 salads a day because I had a bunch of free lettuce given to me. And it was really good. So weird. That sounds weird, right? It was weird. Like the fancy gourmet lettuce. No, my work had done like a salad. It was for the American Heart Association. We did like a salad bar thing, and there was a ton of lettuce left over, and I was really poor. So I ate nothing but salads for a week. But okay, so sorry if that was trigger warning for some y'all. I highly recommend the Fuck It Diet, but just forewarning, pre-warn, whatever, she does not have any kind of degrees in dietitianism, if that's a word. She just basically heard about intuitive eating and then sort of like created her own diet around it. And it's basically the same exact thing. But it is weird. She does say you shouldn't, what was it? There was something in intuitive eating. Oh, on intuitive eating, you're supposed to rate your hunger scale, which I don't remember that being a thing that you had to do. She says not to do that because then you become obsessed with whether you're hungry or not. And I don't have that problem, but I don't ever rate my, like, I just go, I think I'm full. Okay, I'll stop eating now. Like, I don't sit there and obsess about it. And I feel like I've gotten to a good point where food does not rule my life. I'm not constantly thinking about food. I'm enjoying my life. I'm like, you know, like sometimes you just go, that sounds really good. I think I want to get that. But I'm not like whereas before I would think about something like, I have to buy it the next time I go shopping. I have to get it. Like, you would get like an urge that you had to like scratch that itch kind of thing. And now I'm just like, okay, take it or leave it. Like, I'm not nearly as excited about food. I know I mentioned in one of our last podcast episodes that I was getting to a point where I don't, nothing sounded good. My husband's like, oh, really? I don't have that problem. He's a chef, so he can literally create anything he wants to create. And he's taught me a lot. And I'm a much better cook now because of being married to him. But, like, I don't have the patience that he does, which is funny because he has the chronic pain, well, way more chronic pain than I have. But he still has, like, the patience to stand at the stove for 25 minutes to caramelize some onions, which is funny. Before being married to him, I thought caramelizing was just browning them. I didn't know there was an actual whole process to caramelizing onions. I'm like, oh, okay. Little did I know. There's a huge difference. If you're interested, we made a YouTube video on how to caramelize, or no, yeah, we did a caramelization onion one and how to cut an onion like a chef. I'm mind blown, telling you. And it's on a Nom Nom Namaste YouTube. But I think there might be in some of my previous videos, or maybe all my other videos, there might be links underneath. I don't know. At one point I did links. You could just probably Google it. But it is interesting that, like, nothing really, like, yeah, I can just take or leave almost anything. Like, we got some frozen pizza yesterday. I hear the baby. He took a 5-minute nap. 5-minute nap. He would not fall asleep. Once we got, I knew I should have stayed in the car with him. Damn it, I could have filmed this video in the car. He knows I'm here. I might have to hurry. But I have a really hard time finding things that sound good, but lately I'm on a sourdough and American cheese. But weird. Kick, and I hate it when he's sad. Poor baby. I should probably let go. But I just want to update you all and say things are going really good. I'm still not teaching yoga. I stopped doing the physical therapy because I wasn't noticing any difference at all on my back, and also because unemployment stopped and I couldn't afford the $50 fucking copay. But the baby's sad, so I'm gonna go. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.